Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad to hear this Friday morning. Hope everybody's getting ready to get dried out and have a big weekend ahead. But first, our weather brought to us by Hayden Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin and Highway 77. Not really that cold, high of 67, low of 56. And water temperature has gone up to 1 degree to 59 degrees, but we still have cool water temperature. Our river readings, we're looking at Apalachicola at Bluntstown. It is still at 19 feet, y'all. It's going to go up a little bit today and tomorrow. And then Sunday, it's like going to start dropping out on Sunday just a little bit. The Choctawhatchee at Caryville is hanging in there at 10 foot today. And on Sunday, it's going to start going up. And with all this rain we're getting, you know, it's going to, that river, we talk about it all the time, not being dammed. So it's going to just come up on, it will rise when it rains and drops when it don't rain. So that's a good river to read with our natural flow. The tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Today is Friday, December the 14th, and have good tides. We're looking at a 10:23 low tide and 11 o'clock tonight, a high tide. And we're talking to people, and we've had some people try to flounder, and I haven't done really well on it in St. Andrew Bay system, but they're saying the St. Joe Bay has been really clear. It's really cleared up, especially with that new cut going in there. And I was talking to Joe Eddy, and Joe is one of the best flounder guys along the Gulf of Mexico coast from Texas to Florida. And Joe knows floundering. And he was saying the St. Joe Bay is really cleared up and it looks really good, but it's really muddy in the St. Andrew Bay system and the Choctawhatchee Bay system. All right, the marine forecast south-southwest at about 10 today. Take a break, we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Trying to give you a first-hand report on so many things, and a lot of times we're able to get to, especially now that the rain is sort of stopped. We went down to Howard Creek to give you a look down there. I want to show you how the river, how this is lower end of the boat ramp, what we call lower landing down at Howard Creek. And I took it, I looking at it on the screen, it don't look that strong, but I'm going to zoom in and show you. Now, for the folks that don't know the lower end, the actual boat ramp is down by that pontoon boat and that house right there. That's about where you normally launch your boat. So you can see where the water is coming way on up there, way on out of the banks. And I was tickled because we did have one truck has launched out, and he would, I'd always love to see some fishermen. He's probably catfishing down there. And Larry Brown need to send me some pictures of what's going on in the Choctawhatchee River over there at Bunker. And I know y'all catching some fish. Then I came up what we call the upper landing. And this is where most people are launching. It's about 300 yards up from the lower landing. But you can see it's pretty high right there, but it's very, pretty easy to launch into compared to some other places. And you just follow that little creek on around, you get back in toward the Brothers. But that's what's going on down at Howard Creek, high water, but still some good catfishing and all. Let's skip around. Now here's my buddy Alan Shepard. I've shown him a lot. Went fishing by himself up there at Sneed's at the Jim Woodruff Dam. Look here, yesterday I had a great time on the Apalachicola River called largemouth, crappie, blue cat, and a flathead, a solo fishing trip. And I promise you I'm going to go, and Alan and I have talked about it. We deer hunted way back in the day. He's a good buddy of mine, and we're going to go catfishing in 2019. We promised each other we're going to go, so looking forward to that. Rachel Hallman, a mare named Camille, this is her. She had my outdoor class and really loved outdoor stuff. She grew up in Lynn Haven, went to the University of Florida and majored in wildlife biology and got a job with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife, been working with them a while. And she loves her job. She's up there in Georgia, and this is electric shocking, of course. That's a hybrid bass on the left, okay? And then this is a 9, on the right here is a 9-pound bass. Now, of course, they didn't keep it. They're studying them and all, but this is a local Lynn Haven girl, just loving her job. She's married now, and just doing a great job, loves the outdoors. We've talked about our photographer friend in Seopa, Tess Randall Jolly. Tess is just the ultimate photographer. And this is, none of this is staged. This is from her photography. Look at these two big bucks, and they're getting ready to spar. And now Tess just has so much patience, and we see her every year, and we talk to her through the year. Let me show you the second picture. Let me see if I get a second picture. This is when the two bucks clashed. Okay, got that one, and then right here when they hit each other. Now look at that. And that's some Alabama bucks. He lives up there in central North Alabama, around Tuskegee, and this is their farm. And they got some big bucks on there, and they'll take 1 or 2 a year. But anyway, great job with that photography. Okay. This is up at the Elliser homestead, Deer Point Lake. This is Stacy sent this. This is an eagle. Can y'all see that eagle? Now I got a series of pictures. That eagle is building a nest. This is up at Deer Point Lake, okay, on the western side. I got a couple of pictures. Here's another one here. Stacy took some good pictures. Now it's sort of in the mud. They do, eagles sort of go through stages of getting a nest and getting mud and everything, and then sticks. But look in your backyard, folks. You just never know what's going to be there. And a good picture there. Okay, and okay, and one more. Whitley's been on the show before. You remember Whitley Dillon? She's married now, Whitley Bryant. And look at this big old. She got plenty of bacon. And somebody asked her, Whitley, where did you go to get that? And she said, our backyard. So that's a big old hog there, plenty of pork chops and bacon. So, and then I got one more outdoor picture coming up here from Arthur William Jones. Been down to, let's see, he said he went down to St. Joe Bay and got, how many mullet he said he get? He got 2, okay, a 14-inch flounder, and then he got 12 mullet and a flounder. Good job, William Jones. So, you know, things are still going on in the outdoors. Although a lot of us are preoccupied with rebuilding and everything, and that's why I wore my camouflage shirt today, to get you thinking about the outdoors. So hopefully you'll be sending some pictures and all, and we're going to get better and better and more. Like I say, 2019 is going to be phenomenal. I want to say, let me say this. I showed a picture of Rachel on that electric shotgun, and they're doing that, you know, with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife. I ran into Ira forehand yesterday, and a lot of y'all know Ira. He's a legend from Weewall, been around outdoors his whole life, and I had a good talk with him, and we decided, we were talking about, I said, when are you going to have another flathead catfish tournament? Because he was sort of always in charge of that catfish trail when it came down to the Weewall area. And we were talking about it. He said what he would like to get, and some of the other guys, and this makes a lot of sense. You know, the flathead is a non-native species, and they eat a lot of brim and other little fish and everything, and what they want to try to do. And when people catch flathead, they cut them open and got all the brim in them. And really, we're trying to just, you know, sort of like the lionfish in the Gulf, we want to try to get rid of them. He said what they're proposing is that when you have a flathead tournament, allow people, you know, listen to this, allow people to shock them, the old phone, shock them. You have a shock boat, and then you have a catch, what's called a catch boat. When they come up there, all you pick up just pick up the flatheads, and of course, and then everything else is okay. Let it go, and that would be controlled, and you're gonna get a lot of flathead catfish, and that's what we're trying to get rid of in the river system. So and just do it during the tournaments right now, and you know have it monitored and all, and then limit your catch boats. He says some people are trying it. They had one shock boat and 10 catch boats, and just went up. You know, you can't do that. That's not legal. But maybe got it. You know, get it legal for the weekend, and get the Fish and Wildlife folks to be there and all. But anyway, isn't that a good idea? Ira, I want to say good morning to Ira, and he's always doing outdoor stuff. But think about doing something like that along the catfish trail. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let me mention this. A lot of y'all going through the same traumatic experience as we are. One side effect is the amount of people driving in the traffic, and that's just, horrendous is the best word to describe it. But especially 8 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 3 to 5 and all that, and you can't do anything bumper to bumper. But the other times, what's amazing is the reckless driving and the speed that we are witnessing. I just about get run over. I was coming back yesterday from the Cape and Howard Creek, and and this is a typical day. We're going, it's a 45 zone, I'm going 55, and people are flying by me on the Tindall Bridge, they're going only 75, 80. Same thing on the Bailey Bridge if it's not peak traffic. The bridge traffic and going into Lynn Haven, coming into Parker, coming in from Weewall, And I've got a lot of people, a lot of these are Texas tags, a lot of these out-of-state tags, and it's just fascinating. It's just reckless driving, these big old trucks and all. And we all need to really drive defensively and really, I used to say, watch out for the fellow driver. Well, your fellow drivers, the best way to phrase it, watch out for those fools that are driving now. So be careful out there. I just want to pass that on to you. A lot of y'all are experiencing it because I've talked to you. Okay, one other thing, speaking of traffic, the gas prices, it's humiliating to live here in Panama City and have the gas prices this high. We were up in Tennessee, up through Alabama this past weekend, paid $1.98 for gas. And now Panama City has the highest prices in the state of Florida, and there's only one word to describe it. It's called greed. And and I don't care what anybody says, they can come up with all kinds of excuses they want to, but I hate to see that. It's just not right. So that's how I feel about it. I asked some of the viewers, ask y'all if you have any kind of cool experiences during the storm, and let me know. So I got one right here from Greg Frady. I'm gonna read part of it to you. Hey Winston, glad you and your family are okay. We're okay too. We rode the storm out under my house in the crawl space. A portion of it you can stand up in, and we put lawn chairs down there. We got the north eye wall and the southwest eye wall here at Compass Lake. Major tree damage, but for me, all the trees fell sort of through the storm away. And let's see, and then the third pic, I got some different pictures of a flipped ship, and then also up here at Burnt Mill Creek, over one of these ships at Burnt Mill Creek, one is behind FSU building. The self is my brother Rich, his wife Debbie, and I under my house. The shed with the toys were they untouched by the tree. So let me show you the series of pictures. This is just some of the pictures that Greg sent, flipped over boats. I got a series of them here. Let's see. It's amazing how the wind, okay, this is over by FSU, how the wind, how strong it was, especially coming across the bay system and all. And here it is with Greg and his brother and all. And here's a toy shed. Didn't mess up the toys, but isn't it amazing how these trees fell at different places? So let's see. And then he said he went fishing, and this is what we all need to do. And look at there. And this is after the hurricane now, a week or so after the hurricane, he took time out to go fishing and relax. And good job. Went out in his kayak, and you can see, look at that redfish right there. Good job, Greg, and appreciate you sending that. And this is what I want to encourage everybody to do. Take time now and go do some fishing, go do some outdoor stuff, go in the woods or something, and we'll all be a lot better off. So I did want to mention that. Also, now let me mention something on a positive note. Talk about the negative stuff about the speed and the gas prices and all. Let's look at something positive. I know a lot of people, you start making donations at the end of the year because taxes and all that. And I want to recommend 3 places you can make a donation to that I feel very strong about, and I know they just help people. Number one, and not in any particular order. Number one, of course, is Seasons of Hope with Michael Harris. They work hard, and they try to do things for people who are less fortunate. That some of them have terminal illnesses. A lot of them are handicapped in one way or the other. But man, they're great. They're great folks and all that love the outdoors. So that money to Season of Hope will always go to something good. Along the same line, Derek Fussell with Camo Dream. Derek helps people out, takes kids out on hunting trips and all, and fishing trips. And those 2 organizations are local, right here in Panama City, here in the Panhandle, of guys trying to help people enjoy the outdoors, and a lot of less fortunate people, like I say, doing it. So that's 2 of them. And the third one would be the Taunton Family Children's Home down in Weewall. I got to see David Taunton yesterday, and Abigail, ran into them down there and at a trust plant, and had the best visit with them. And David Taunton and Abigail, they started that children's family home, 30-something years ago. And they take no money from the government, 0. They don't take any government money. They rely on donations from people like us, and it's just amazing at what they do there. And they didn't start yesterday. They've been doing it for a long time. So if those 3, if you have some, you want to make some donations, and look, I know a lot of people move in from out of town and all and don't know about these organizations. That's 3 local organizations. I know sometimes we give these big organizations, a lot of that money is for administrative, all that. This money goes into the organization to help people. So I want to recommend those places right there. Taunton Family Children's Home, Season Hope Outdoors, and Camo Dreams. Three great ones. I just think a lot of those folks, and I know them personally, and I just know they'll do good things for people. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now it's Friday, and so we're going to do our Tarpon Dock seafood giveaway. Appreciate Tarpon Dock always doing this, and we've given away a lot of seafood. Now, speaking of drawing, now we're going to have one more drawing this year. Then we're going to dump out all these folks haven't won. Now, if you won once or twice, I've taken you out. So we've had a lot of winners. So these are just the ones left that haven't won. So when 2019 in January, everybody, I'm going to throw everything away, start over. So we're going to put in all fresh names in January. But please don't send them yet. We're still putting our house back together. So I'll tell you maybe next week when to start sending names in. Maybe the first week or two of January, we'll have it ready by then. So anyway, let's go ahead and draw for today. And this is going to be a $20 gift certificate. And the winner, I'm going to go to the bottom this time. All right, that is from the bottom. And the winner is going to be, okay, Johnny Chambers from Apalachicola. Johnny Chambers, come up here, get you $20 worth of seafood, and spend some time up here and see some folks. And the winner of the Big Red Snapper is going to be, got that one out right here, Stacy McDougal, a regular loyal viewer, Stacy McDougal. So those are our two winners right there. So we're going to take a break, come back with our famous Friday fishing forecast. Okay, welcome back. Before we get to the fishing report, I'm going to show you a couple of pictures. Before I do that, let's look at our fishing game times today, brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers, 5:06 a.m. to 7:06 a.m. We're right in the middle of it right now. And this evening, 5:28 to 7:28. I remember I showed this picture a while back. I was sitting there looking out at the sunrise and little hummingbirds and all. I'm not a photographer, but I love nature. And then last month, a couple weeks after the storm, and everybody, I always get up at daybreak doing the show or not, and I'm sitting in the same chair, and this is what I saw. And I put this on Facebook, and I was inspired. These are the same trees you saw in the other picture standing. You see what they are now. And I wrote down, through the brokenness around us, we still have the gift of another day. And that's how I feel about it. All kinds of things busted up around us and all, but we say, we've got a beautiful day ahead of us, and all kinds of things, do good things and all. And what's fascinating, I need to find the quote, but I sent this all over Facebook, and I got a lot of comments. But I want to tell you, one of my former basketball players from the ladies of the 80s, when I coached girls basketball way back in the ladies of the 80s, and I'm still in contact with some of them. And Dee Dee Bird lives up in Athens, Georgia now. She sent me a message back, Coach, that's so beautiful. I see the cross. The cross, I didn't think about it. So look back at the picture and look at the cross of the tree. Y'all see the cross in the picture? And that was just, to hear from her, and she saw it before I did, and it was just real inspirational. So, I just wanted to share that with you. It's really cool and all. So anytime you get a chance to do something like that and show people and everything, go ahead and take advantage of it. Right now I'm going to try to find Google Earth, and we're going to do our famous Friday fishing report, and let's go and talk about it first. You saw what was caught out of St. Joe Bay with a mullet and a flounder. And by the way, let me go and tell y'all, we were riding along the coastline of St. Joe Bay yesterday, and it was low tide and around the middle of the day, and it was so evident, and that's why I want y'all to be aware of this, it was so evident that, let me see, okay, what was so evident was the limbs, with the low tide and everything, the limbs that was protruding all along the shoreline, from right at the shoreline to 100 yards out, where you just see tree limbs. So we're talking about really be careful of these obstructions in the bay, all along the bay system. I don't know if they'll be as bad in Choctawhatchee Bay, but I know they are in St. Andrew Bay, and especially St. Joe Bay. And that's just the tree limbs now. I'm not telling what else is out there, but be aware of that, okay? So anyway, let's go ahead and talk about, Choctawhatchee Bay. I don't have a report from Larry Brown, but he's going to give me one pretty soon. But I know they're catching a lot of mullet in Choctawhatchee Bay. The St. Andrew Bay system, again, it's really, a lot of people aren't fishing and everything, but I know Deer Point Dam. Let's go up here to Deer Point Dam, and we saw what was caught. Listen to Travis Bassford when they gave a citation right there to dam on the freshwater side. I'm sorry, on the saltwater side, they're catching a lot of fish. Now you can fish the dam on the east side or west side right there. You can park, a lot better parking here on the west side, and right there, right in the center of the page right there, and walk along the ramp and all. and just be careful. But it's fairly safe. But don't take kids, let them jump up and down there. And a lot of people are fishing there now. East Bay, I haven't got much reports from East Bay. A lot of damage is over there, but I can promise you there's going to be good fishing. Now, Crooked Island Sound, you cannot get into Davis Beach. It's still blocked off. As far as I know, the latest word is still blocked off. But going down to, like I say, to St. Joe Bay, and again, this is Google Earth, and ironically, it does not have the cut. I'm going to zoom on in to where the cut, it's still fascinating. You can see right here in the center of the page, okay? Right there in the center is the boat ramp. Let me even get closer. And you see where it cut through, you see the boat ramp right there. It says Scallop Cove 2 and Reynolds. That is a boat ramp. Now, right north of there, for the next 300 yards, that cut into with the St. Joe Bay, with the pressure coming from St. Joe Bay. It didn't come in from the Gulf side, and it went about 300 yards. I've been trying to find pictures of it, and I've got 1 or 2 pictures. I'm going to see if I can give me permission to go out there and do some video. But like Travis said, that hopefully they're going to have the boat ramp ready in the next couple of weeks. So it's going to be interesting and all. So anyway, if you're going to catch mullet, just wade out. You can wade out from over here on what we call Town Beach. You can wade out there, and I can promise you that it's been low tide in the middle of the day, but if you go early in the morning or late in the afternoon, you're going to catch some nice mullet. Just park there and wade out. Again, those houses are really beat up along in there. And this is where I saw a lot of limbs yesterday. Then on this backside here, I haven't heard any word from Apalachicola, but the river's really high, so Apalachicola Bay is going to be real muddy now. But the creeks and all, I don't know how much damage is done to that creek system we talk about all the time, where we go all up in there, and Whiskey George Creek and all those. Bill Allen and I go there a lot, but we haven't heard any reports about trees down. It's going to be pretty challenging along the river system unless people got in there with Chainsaw Army. Got to wrap up for today. You have a great weekend. Next week's going to be a big week leading up to Christmas, all kind of good stuff. But go ahead and enjoy the outdoors this weekend. Do something good for your fellow man. You have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.